Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, John. Happy Wednesday.
Yes, happy Wednesday. It's been a couple weeks since we've had a chance to chat, and we each had a trip that we took in the last week or two. I was gone for 7 days, actually 8 days or more, and I know you had a pretty awesome trip that you took. And I'm excited to hear about. I'm excited to hear about your trip because you went to a very beautiful location. Tell me where you went.
We did. We went to Lake Tahoe on a work trip. I went to a mortgage conference out there of top producers throughout the country about marketing, business development, the industry, etc. But we certainly took some time to check out Lake Tahoe, and it was mind-blowingly amazing. Like far exceeded our expectations. We absolutely loved it. I haven't had a chance to post pictures yet, but looking forward to doing that and sharing some of the amazing scenery and stuff that we did.
No doubt.
Now, you went on a trip as well, and it sounds like you had some adventures, especially once you got home.
Oh yeah, yeah. The return trip was a bit of a journey in itself, but the vacation that I went on last week, I don't think I realized how much I needed a vacation. Real estate is a crazy business, but I've had a lot of layers of things that have been going on in my children's lives that I've had to kind of really handle over the last couple of years. And it's been extreme. I don't think I realized how much stress was involved in all of that until 48 hours on this ship. We went on a cruise out of Port Canaveral on Carnival cruise ship Mardi Gras, and it was
nice.
a huge ship. I didn't realize, because I hadn't done all that much research on the ship itself until we kind of got to it, and then I'm like, oh my god, this thing is huge. It's one of the 10 largest cruise ships on the planet.
Wow.
And there are bigger ones, which is kind of hard to imagine. This thing has a roller coaster on it. I think it had, let's see, I think I counted that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 swimming pools on the ship.
Wow.
At least 8 hot tubs on the ship. Probably countless numbers of bars, restaurants.
Now, was it crowded? Like, were you able to do the roller coaster and pools and stuff fairly easily?
Well, you kind of had to coordinate your timing on things. There's no doubt about that. I got a guest here. Because there was over 6,000 people, 6,000 cruisers on this ship, plus 1,700 staff. There's a lot of people on this boat. But yeah, I was able to find time where I had space to myself occasionally. A lot of that meant just getting up before the sun. And one of my things that I love to do is kind of wake up really early before anybody else and find a place to myself where I can watch the sunrise. There's nothing like seeing a sunrise over open water. And even though there's a lot of clouds off in the distance, our sunrises weren't quite what I would have liked to have seen. But the trip was amazing. It was incredibly invigorating. We got some really cool ports of call because we went to San Juan, Puerto Rico, a place called Amber Cove in the Dominican Republic, and Grand Turk in the Turks and Caicos Islands. And each of those were so unique that I could probably just talk about each of them in a whole, series of stuff. I got some fantastic photographs and videos, and we did some snorkeling on Grand Turk and got a chance to see some of the reefs and the fish and stuff on the reefs. And that was I could go snorkeling every day, or even do some scuba. But that was pretty awesome. It was an awesome trip altogether.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. Came back and had a little shocking discovery at the airport there in Richmond, and kind of trying to share a little bit of public service announcement about that in some ways, because I've discovered that a lot of people have had this kind of situation unfortunately happen, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. But the catalytic converter was literally cut out of our car, sitting in the garage, in the airport parking garage.
That's like a big crime, highly profitable, super quick for folks. But I can't believe it happened at the airport parking garage.
Well, that was what shocked us, is we thought, okay, this is a safe, secure place because you're paying to get in there, and you're paying for that security that you thought you had. And that was sort of the wake up call for us, is that, the security that's there is not what you would anticipate for this kind of a thing. Don't forget, it's basically free for an hour. So you can go into this parking lot, pick up your passengers. If you got somebody that's coming in off of a flight or something like that, you can wait and then leave within an hour and there's no charge. So whoever does these things knows that. They know the security route that the route that the security officer goes through, and they just find an opportunistic vehicle, and in 30 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever it takes, they real quick, smash and grab, take it. They probably get, it's a certain type of individual to do this kind of thing, and whatever their lifestyle is that's involved is probably not one that you and I would normally associate with. But right. Whether it's a drug deal kind of thing and they're having to have money for drugs or whatever, they don't care. They don't care that it costs you $3,000 to repair this. They're getting $250 for this thing that they're cutting off your car. So it's bizarre, but we're trying not to let it hinder our thing. But I want people to feel safe. There are some precautions that you can take to keep that from happening. It's a little bit tough depending on the vehicle that you have, but it was happening a lot. On the day that we returned, or the day that we picked up the car, which was the next day, we were told at the counter that there were 4 vehicles on that day that they had reported that this had happened. So it's definitely a very prolific thing, so something to be aware of.
Maybe they would want to put up a camera or two. You can put up cameras on Wi-Fi pretty inexpensively.
I think they're going to need some pressure. So probably these places will need to add some security to their systems in order to make that happen. So, but yeah, I hope anybody that's traveling, I hope you're safe. And, main thing is, hey, we got home safe. The trip was awesome. We got home safe, and we have a lot of great memories, and I'm reinvigorated. I'm re-energized. I have a whole lot of stuff I got to get done now, because I feel the energy to want to help people even more now than I did before. I have a whole lot more energy to do that. So I am looking forward to the next few months. And, and we're going through this transition in this, real estate market. Things are uncertain out there. So you and I are here to help create certainty for people. And where are things standing at this point? If you don't mind, I'll do a quick update on any news that you can share on the mortgage side of things.
Yeah, the mortgage world is steady as she goes, just like everything else in the world, or at least in our country here. There's a lot of uncertainty. Mortgage rates have stabilized, maybe even seen some lowering from the peaks a few weeks ago. The experts, who are wrong just as much as they are right, are expecting mortgage rates to maybe have a little tick up over the next month or so, but then start to see some improvement, as much as 1% or more as we go towards recession. Typically, when we hit recession, mortgage rates on average drop by 1.2%. So we are probably headed that way a little later this year. So we're never going to get back to 2s and 3s. That was just ridiculous. But we may see some lowering, which will definitely help with housing affordability. And we're seeing all the experts talking about housing affordability. And oh my gosh, mortgage rates are so high, purchase prices are so high. But what they don't talk about is incomes. Income levels have risen just about as quickly. So if you look at housing affordability, rent and mortgage payments, they've both gone up. Rent's actually going up faster. Right. The housing affordability really hasn't decreased. It's about the same, but then you have to factor in cost of gas, cost of food. So that does impact overall household affordability. But if you're just looking at housing costs versus income, we're actually in a pretty good spot right now.
There's a lot of messages out there that are kind of infusing this uncertainty into our minds, and that's something I've observed over the last few days being back off of this. That was a great thing about being on the trip. It's like you get away from all this bad news stuff, so come back home and there's more of it kind of out there, and you have to look at it with a filter, because usually when somebody is trying to infuse this fear of this unknown outcome, and they don't know what that outcome is going to be. They're all predicting, whether they're predicting, real estate prices to plummet and, interest rates to go through the roof and all this kind of stuff. They're inflicting this message of fear because they have something to sell. So if you look at things through that filter and recognize, hey, this individual, and they probably have a legit message, but they also have a strategic way of what they're selling is going to be kind of put around this message. And fear is a great motivator, and people that is a marketing thing. My message for folks now is, hey, look, there probably hasn't been a better time to buy or sell a home that we've seen in the last several years. Inventories of homes. This is something you and I have talked about a little bit more. Inventories of homes here in our local greater Williamsburg area, our inventories are finally starting to increase a little bit. Our sales have not gone down. We are still seeing really steady sales. We might see some fluctuations a little bit when there's a spike in interest rates, and all of a sudden something kind of shakes a little bit. But overall, our sales are still very strong. Inventories are increasing. Time on market is increasing. We now have close to 2 months or more supply of homes available in the greater Williamsburg area. A month and a half ago, we were lucky if we had a month of supply.
Right.
I'll go back a little bit further. So the month is probably, it's been climbing for a while. So let's say 3 months ago, we were lucky if we had a month, 1.1, maybe 1.2 months of supply. We're upwards of 2 months of supply of inventory now. That's still not healthy. That is better for buyers. And the actual thing is that's better for sellers, because now if we got a seller, well, it's better for a seller's mindset. If you got a home and you want to sell your home, you also have to be in that position to buy a home. So now if you're going to sell a home, you're in a better position to be able to buy a home because there are more homes on the market. That is a comforting thing to sellers. You may not have the crazy flurry of buyers jumping all over your property, to make multiple offers and crazy over asking price kind of things. But it's more manageable now. The whole environment is more normalizing, and it is becoming a better decision to do that move up, or maybe it's a downsize, or maybe right sizing. But that transition where you can now sell your home and you can have more confidence that you're going to be able to find a home that's going to be suitable for you. It's now much more likely that that's going to happen. So I'm encouraged by everything I'm seeing, and there's despite all the fear stuff that people are advocating, I think this is good.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you make a great point about what you listen to, what you see and hear, because whether you're a Fox News person or a CNN, MSNBC person, they get ratings by playing to their audience, hyping everything up. That's what sells TV. So
there's that.
You're being sold even when you watch the news. So the truth is out there, but isn't always easy to find, and what you hear in the media isn't always the truth. But I'm seeing it too. Folks are having success at making offers. They're even getting seller paid closing costs again, but sellers are still getting a good price for their home. Things are becoming a bit more fair and reasonable.
Agreed. And I think I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. I think we are seeing more of that each day, each week. But I'm encouraged, and I want to make sure to encourage, our anybody's listening to this message. They should know, hey, the sky's not falling. We've heard all this stuff before. This is not new. the things that people are saying are based on fear-based outcomes that might have happened in 2007, 2008. So there's some bad stuff that happened in 2007, 2008. But this environment that we're in is not the sky falling kind of thing. But Kevin, do you have any good dad jokes today?
I was thinking, we were talking about trips when we got started. Did I tell you I recently bought some shoes from a drug dealer? I don't know what he laced them with, but I was tripping all day.
That's rough.
Someone from another office down the hall just yelled, "Oh my goodness." It was a lot of cheese in that one.
That was some pretty good cheese on that one. Well, listen, man, it's great to be back, and it's really great to talk to you again this morning. Thank you so much for taking the time. I had a little sneeze on getting the Facebook Live feed to go again today. I don't know why that's kind of acting up, which is really weird because I just tested it before our call and it went on fine. So when I went to go to Facebook Live, it gave me an interrupt here. But I'll get this video posted and send it to you on YouTube or whatever so that we can share that however you want to.
Cool.
Do you have any other message that you want to share with folks before we hang up?
Nope. Just getting back into the swing of things just like you. So I guess we'll catch up with everybody again next week.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. It's going to be a hot one this week. I saw temperatures up for around 100 degrees. That was kind of the weird thing. We're in the tropics, right? So we're in the tropics, and you'd think that the tropical equator of our Earth is going to have the most intense sunlight. And of course it does. It's a different kind of sunlight.
Right.
You're going to, if you don't have a tan, you're going to burn pretty quick. But anyway, the temperatures there are so much more moderate than they are here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, getting back, that's like the shock to my system is coming back to Williamsburg. We're back into that hot, sticky air. It's 100 degrees outside. It's going to be 100 degrees. It's a little different, but so glad I got to take that trip. Glad you got to take your trip, and I'm glad that things went well. I look forward to chatting with you again here real soon. Hey, if I hear of any, I have another thing I'm going to talk to you about after we get off this call, but if I hear of anybody that needs help with a mortgage, my guy is Kevin Onizuk. I'll make sure that they hear from you. And hey, if you guys need any real estate help, make sure to give me a message and we'll help you out. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, John.